Hey everyone, it's Michael Goosebumps fan. Today I'm going to be talking about, do we think that there will be a Goosebumps 3? Of course it's in the movies, because they're way beyond 3 books by now. Of course the new film came out last year, Haunted Halloween. It's now just called Goosebumps 2, from what I can tell, according to the DVD that I have from last year. I love the first movie. I genuinely think the first film is fantastic. I know we all have some gripes and nitpicks about little things about the movie as Goosebumps fans, but Haunted Halloween I thought was really solid for the most part. It wasn't as good as the first movie. I agree with everybody who said that, but it has its own elements that I really love. I love the involvement of like Tesla, for example. That's something that would easily be involved in a Goosebumps story. It probably has, for that matter. Slappy and all the Halloween decorations coming to life and stuff. I thought that stuff was really, really cool. If you haven't seen the film, you're really missing out, in my opinion. It is, at its heart, a kid's movie. Everybody was complaining about the gummy bear things coming to life in the film. That was the dumbest nitpick that people could possibly have with that movie, in my opinion. It was so fun, and it was so enjoyable. And, of course, for anybody who hasn't seen the film, there are going to be some spoilers coming up in just a moment, so you might want to stay, you might not want to stay. But Goosebumps 3 has been talked about for ever since this film came out last year, of course. But I don't think we're getting Goosebumps 3. I don't think we're getting a TV show revival either. I really don't. I think it's going to be one of those things that probably won't resurface until way later on down the road. I would be surprised if we got a Goosebumps 3. Of course, supposedly it's been confirmed here and there that Sony was going to do another one by the time 2025 rolls around. Frankly, you might as well not even do it at that point, because Jack Black, he's going to keep getting older. All the actors and actresses are going to keep getting older and older. The one kid that's in the second film, Haunted Halloween, moved on to Are You Afraid of the Dark reboot that's coming out. I don't know if you know that, but he is. So, I don't know what to think. I want a Goosebumps 3. I think it would be the ultimate opportunity to finally do what we wanted to do back in the day, of having Horrorland be the centerpiece, the location for that third film, since Jack Black, of course, this is the spoiler territory, R.L. Stine, as that character, he got sucked into his book at the end of the second movie. So, with that being said, it would be the ultimate opportunity to have Hannah come back and try to go in and rescue him. Maybe have a new casting for the guy from 13 Reasons Why. Just recast that character. Let him and Hannah go in and try to rescue Jack Black, and have it for some emotional reason, in my opinion. I think that by the time the film ends up, or the film ends in any way, shape, or form, I think they should have it where Hannah has to stay behind with the other creatures, since she was originally, in the first film, a monster herself. She was a ghost, or a spirit, whatever you want to call her. I think it would be interesting to have her stuck, even though R.L. Stine rewrote her and made her into a human character that is not a creature, but she's still a creature, technically, if we're being honest. But you could do that. You could do something really cool there. And, of course, Jack Black was totally tacked on to Haunted Halloween. He didn't really need to be there, even by the end of the movie. Haunted Halloween showed a great example of what Sony does to many movies, whether it be the Ghostbusters reboot, remake thing that they're now calling Answer the Call, or whether it be Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was the most insulting thing I've ever seen in my life. One of the worst movies, and probably one of the worst Spider-Man movies, for that matter, ever made, and it's Sony's fault. They just have a problem with having too many cooks in the kitchen, if you know what I mean. This is a situation where we need a solid Goosebumps film, and I don't think Sony's the company to produce it. I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, give Spider-Man back to the MCU because Marvel's the only people who know how to handle it. No, I'm not one of those people. I'm saying flat out, I don't think Sony can do this right. I just don't. They did it right with the first film, but I don't think that was Sony. I think that was the filmmaker and his team and whatnot who worked on that. The second film, like I said, I think it's pretty decent for the most part. Feels a little different, but it's still solid in my opinion. I don't know what they would do with the third film. The way the second film is so choppy and feels like things like the Jack Black thing are tacked on, I don't know what they could do with the third film, aside from just doing Horrorland. I don't know anything else anybody would be excited for. My ultimate idea is not that we should go for Goosebumps 3, it's that we should do a soft reboot. Which in a sense, I think would be, in my opinion, we should just do like an hour and a half long film, right? Which is short by today's standards, because everything's 2 hours now. Let's do that and do either animated or not animated, more like on the low budget side of like the TV show from back in the 90s. Have the original theme song if you can get it. I don't know if Fox Kids would allow them to have that. I know there's a lot of rights issues with things like Amazing, or I threw a book off my shelf. I know there's a lot of rights issues with Spider-Man the Animated Series where we can't even get full-on, full-fledged, complete series release sets, box sets, because of the Fox Kids issue with Disney and Marvel and all of those things. So there's problems like that that have come affront, right? But then there's a situation like this where it might be the same situation with Goosebumps. I don't know. It's possible. But I would love to see the original theme song. I would love to see either do animated or not, do a very low-budget live action. Just do short stories. Do an anthology film. Do kind of like what Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark did. I haven't seen the film, but do something like that. Do something kind of like the first Goosebumps film. Have a bunch of different monsters in there, but do kind of a wraparound story, but have 3 individual stories that are wrapped together, kind of like the VHS movies. Do something like that. I honestly think that would work so much better compared to another Goosebumps sequel that's like a full hour and a half or 2 hours of kids running around, a bunch of monsters everywhere trying to attack them. I just don't think it works. And I don't think that the idea of taking like something like Not a Living Dummy, for example, the original book from the old classic series, and just trying to take that and stretch it out to an hour and a half at the very maximum, in my opinion, I don't think that's a good idea either. I don't think Haunted Mask should be an hour and a half long. The original TV miniseries movie thing, TV adaptation of the book from the old show, is about 40 minutes long in total. I think it's perfectly paced. I don't think it needs to be extended at all. I don't think there's enough material there to extend it. I really think either the animated scary route, kind of like in the Tim Burton stop-motion-esque feel, like Nightmare Before Christmas and Corpse Bride and all that stuff. I think either that or, again, live action more in the style of Haunting Hour more than anything, I think might be the best ways to go. Not a bunch of Goosebumps stuff is scary. So you could have like 2 adaptations of old stories to the big screen in one movie, and then have the third section of that film that's also 30 minutes long for an hour and 30-minute long runtime be its own individual thing that maybe R.L. Stine writes up, or maybe somebody else comes up with that's an old R.L. Stine idea for a book or anything. I don't know. Something like that is the only way I can see a Goosebumps 3, or in my opinion, like I said, we deserve a soft reboot, being there, being actually made. But again, Goosebumps doesn't have the biggest fan base anymore. The fans are there, but a lot of people are staying home and not going to the theaters. People don't realize how much a theatrical release actually matters to a movie when it comes out. If you don't go see it in the theaters, a lot of the time it's not going to matter whether you buy it on DVD or not. It's not going to get you a sequel half the time. This is how the MCU thrived. This is how the DCEU is not thriving. Many people are just staying home, watching the movies there when they come to DVD and digital and all of those things. So Goosebumps is in a weird area right now. I don't want Netflix to remake it because I don't want to pay $15 a month to have a subscription to that. I think that try a theatrical film, either do animated or live action. I recommend the live action because that will hit the people who are more fans of the TV series than they are the books, and the people that read the books and love the books like myself aren't going to care which way you go. You can't lose in that situation, in my opinion, depending on how you go about things. I really think it would work, and I would like to see Sony or somebody try that. I really think it might work better than what they're trying to do right now, with every single film being the same type of thing over and over again. But even so, I love the movies so far, for the most part, and I want to see more. I like these. I think kids like these. Kids like the first 2 films. Fans like the first 2 films, from what I can tell. I know a lot of people don't like Haunted Halloween, but I love Haunted Halloween just as much as I love the first film, for the most part. Even so, love to hear your thoughts down below, guys. Do you think we should have a Goosebumps 3 coming up sooner, or do you think we should wait off a little while? Do you think we should have it at all, or should we go the soft reboot idea like what I think? Do you think animated? I've heard a lot of people say animated. Again, animated doesn't have to just be a cartoon. It can be stop motion. I don't think cartoon-wise it would work. I think, again, stop motion would work better, especially with Slappy, if you're going to do that. The Haunted Mask. Imagine what you could do with the Haunted Mask with CGI. Or not CGI, but stop motion. The mud monsters from Are You Afraid? Or You Can't Scare Me. Sorry. I was mixing that up with Are You Afraid of the Dark? But still, what are your thoughts, guys? I'd love to know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. May the Lord Jesus Christ bless you guys today, and goodbye.